What's good, YouTube, and welcome to another KaibaHacksDartz Yu-Gi-Oh video. Today, we're coming at you with another deck profile, deck list, deck update, whatever you like to call it. And this is our Penguin deck for October 2024. Now, if you don't know the Penguins, they are similar to the Ninjas, which I've also done a deck profile on, which they started out as just, generic-y kind of monsters, not actually an archetype, archetype, whatever you like to call it, but has slowly formed into one over the years. That is also why I want to make that Ninja Penguin Ninja deck eventually as well. But we're getting there in the process. We still have to make a Penguin deck. So here it is today. And of course, Penguin Soldier is one of the classics, and he kind of represents what a lot of the deck does, which is, flip monsters and sending cards back to the owner's hand, whether it's yours or your opponent's. So obviously, Penguin Soldier Classic can send up to 2 monster cards to the owner's hand, so you could send him back and their monster. Lots of potential with him, and we're running 3 of him. You could take that down to 2, up to you. Next, we got 3 Nightmare Penguin. It's not actually a flip monster, but it is when this card is flipped face up, return 1 card on your opponent's side of the field to the owner's hand, and as long as this card remains face up on the field, increase the attack of all water monsters on the field by 200 points. So he's basically just a similar thing to Penguin Soldier, but of course he's level 4, and it's only 1 monster, plus a little bit of bonus attack, which isn't really his main use, but it is something. Next, we are running 3 Nope Penguin. And this is during either player's turn, when an effect of a penguin monster is activated, special summon this card from your graveyard, and you can only use the effect of No Penguin once per turn. If a card would be returned from the field to the hand by the effect of a penguin card, you can banish it instead. So of course, you could be sending back their cards, but instead of sending them back, you're banishing them. And of course, he's just real easy to bring out with popping off those penguin effects. And of course, a lot of these numbers can be switched out depending on kind of the strats and how you're feeling out the deck, what extra deck monsters you have. It still has a lot of potential for being changed up in the future, at least mine does. Next, we have 2 Penguin Squire. I'd probably take this up to 3 if I had a third one. I thought I did, but I'm not sure where it is. But it's an aqua tuner, and it cannot be used as a synchro material except for the synchro summon of a water monster. And if a monster is set on your field, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can reduce its level by 1 or 2. So obviously that's opening up the potential for some different synchro plays and such. And you can target 1 face-down monster you control and change it to face-up defense position. And if you do, its effects are negated unless it's a penguin monster. So obviously, some synchronicity with some of those other penguins that have those flip effects. Next, we're running the two of the Great Emperor Penguin. Another one you could possibly take up to 3, and it's you contribute this card, special summon up to 2 penguin monsters from your deck, except the Great Emperor Penguin. So, of course, just an easy way to kind of pop off a little bit more with your penguins, line up some plays. Next, we're running 2 Penguin Ninja. Flip, you can target up to 2 spells/traps your opponent controls and return them to hand. And you can target 1 penguin monster you control and change it to face-down defense position. So obviously he's a good way to get off those penguin monsters again, and for some spell and trap removal, or at least send back to hand, and I believe if you could still use it with the effect of No Penguin, and have them banish instead. Next, we are running 2 Penguin Torpedo. This card can attack directly, and when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target 1 level 6 or lower monster your opponent controls and take control of it at the end phase, but its effects are negated. Also, it cannot declare an attack, and while you control it, you can only use the effect, it cannot declare an attack while you control it. You can only use the effect of Penguin Torpedo once per turn. At the end of the damage step, if this card attacked, destroy this card. So, he's just kind of a weird little tech piece, trying him out, seeing how the stealing kind of works, and if it pops off enough for me to use it. Plus, the 550 direct attack, plus maybe Nightmare Penguin and some other stuff, you might be able to get him slightly higher in attack for those direct attacks. Next, we are running 2 Glacial Beast Polar Penguin. This is our other kind of tuner for the deck. And if this card is special summoned, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand. And if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. So, more of that same kind of essence of returning to hand, plus he's a tuner, just kind of fits in well. Of course, he can be brought up in numbers, brought down, depending on, like I said, your extra deck and such. Next, we're running 2 Penguin Cleric. If a Penguin monsters is sent from your monster zone to the graveyard by an opponent's card, even during the damage step, you can target one of them, discard this card, and if you do, special summon that monster in face-down defense position. You can only use the effect of Penguin Cleric once per turn, and once per turn, you can target one Penguin monster you control. It gains 600 attack until the end of the turn, and you gain 600 life points. So he's got some little weird Healy effects, plus the attack. Like I said, you could add to some different Penguin monsters, like that Penguin Torpedo or whatever. Plus, of course, you got a way to just get back maybe a monster that you needed on the field or want to reuse again. Like I said, that's just another tech piece that can be traded out. There is still a couple other Penguins that I don't have in the deck that you could try out. I believe like Guard Penguin and stuff like that. But we do have 2 Puny Penguin next. It's when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard. After being flipped face up, target one Penguin monster in your graveyard, except Puny Penguin, and special summon that target in face up attack position or face down defense position. So he's a little slower, but he is at level 1, so we can use him kind of for some more specific-y extra deck plays. Like I said, it's just kind of another tech piece to see what we can work with. Moving on to the spells. We are running 3 Penguin Sword. Great little card here, kind of necessary with the deck. Well, not necessary, but very nice. It's equipped only to a Penguin monster, gains 800 attack, and when the equipped monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can return one card your opponent controls to the hand. So obviously continuing that same kind of pattern with the deck. And if a face-up card your opponent controls leaves the field by a Penguin's card effect and returns by a Penguin card's effect, and returns to the hand or is banished, negate the activated effects and effects on the field of cards with that original name until the end of the next turn. So, of course, if you're sending it back to hand, they still can't use it if it's something that they could just immediately drop again. It's some good stopping power, a little bit of attack. Can be used in a lot of different ways for the deck. Next, we're running 3 Royal Penguin's Garden. Another kind of essentially card for the deck, but of course, can be traded out. And when this card is activated, you can add 1 Penguin card from your deck to your hand, except Royal Penguin's Garden. And once per turn during your main phase, you can decrease the level of 1 Penguin monster in your hand or face up field by 1 until the end of this turn. Then discard 1 card. You can only activate 1 Royal Penguin's Garden per turn. So, of course, this you can use with your level 5s to get them down to level 4. You can use it to, get whatever to your hand, including, the Penguin Sword, stuff like that. Very versatile. Oh, sorry, here we'll move these to the side. There we are. Next, a classic, we are running 3 Water Hazard. It is once per turn. If you control no monsters, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower water monster from your hand. And of course, you could always use Royal Penguin Gardens to decrease whatever's level, so you can special summon it as well, like that great Emperor Penguin. Next, we are running 2 Surface. Pretty self-explanatory, just to kind of recycle some of those penguins. Of course, ones that we can pop off their effects too. It's a tech piece, working on it, seeing what works, kind of using the generic-y water support that I have at the moment. Next, we have 1 Big Wave, Small Wave. Destroy as many water monsters you control as possible. Then you can special summon water monsters from your hand up to the number of monsters destroyed by this effect. I don't know how entirely useful this will be. I haven't really had a chance to try it out. I just kind of threw it in as some filler. But it seems like it could be useful in the deck. Next, I have a Double Summon. You could probably just trade this out for something similar. But this is just in case we need to get out a little bit more power, hands full of monsters, and you maybe don't have a certain combo. The Double Summon comes in. And lastly, a Monster Reborn. Of course, to bring back whatever. Next, the traps. We have 2 Armor Recall. This is just to go with the Penguin Sword to try and get it a little bit more consistently. so that way you can go for some bigger kind of penguin sword plays. And lastly, just a Waboku, another kind of piece of filler. Like I said, I could get more, maybe Great Emperor Penguins, Penguin Squires, and just kind of work in with some of the different water stuff to see what works. And of course, if I do add in the ninjas, like I said, there'd be some different traps and stuff in there. There is a lot of flip kind of support, because the ninjas and penguins do have a lot of that flip kind of stuff going in tandem. So I think it could be a fun deck to do eventually. Moving to the extra deck, we have 3 Penguin Brave. Of course, you know, the kind of main boy for this deck. And it's, your opponent cannot target face-down defense position monsters you control with card effects. So, you know, kind of covering your penguins or whatever. And you can only use each of the following effects of Penguin Brave once per turn. If this card is synchro summoned, you can special summon 1 penguin monster from your deck in face-down defense position. So, you know, another little adage. And when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can flip 1 face-down defense position water monster you control face up. So it's a good way to get them off, you know, once they're down, you know, those puny penguins or whatever you need to do to get it off. Or whatever plays you need to flip, you know, penguin soldiers, stuff like that. Next, we are running 3 White Aura Dolphin. I don't have too much in terms of the extra deck. There's still a lot of potential and fill out. I don't even have any, like, Xyz monsters. So I'm still working with a lot of stuff, but the White Aura Dolphin's pretty generic and works with some of the stuff. It's once per turn, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes half its original attack until the end of this turn. And if this card in your possession is destroyed by opponent's card and sent to your graveyard, you can banish 1 other water monster from your graveyard and special summon this card as a tuner. So, of course, it can be used for some bigger synchro plays if you get there. But, of course, it can just be used to kind of get those beefier monsters down. I have 3 of those. Like I said, that could be tuned down a lot more. It's just because I had 3 and I don't have a full extra deck yet. Next, we are running 1 Ascan the Bicorned Goatee. Ascan the Bicorned Goatee. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 fish monster you control. Obviously, we don't have one of those, but banish them, and you can banish 1 fisher. It's really just more for the attack. In there, just another water monster. Same with the Ravenous Croco Dragon Arcathes or whatever. Just something else to go into, maybe potential draw power. The White Aura Bahamut. It's during your turn. When this card is synchro summoned, you can special summon 1 Divine Dragon token, fish water attack through, you know, in defense position once per turn. Once per opponent's turn, while you control no tokens, quick effect, you can special summon 1 Divine Dragon token. If this card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to your graveyard while you control 1 of the tokens, you can special summon this card in defense position. So, you know, it's just another weird little play. And same with the Marine Cess Coral Anemone. You can target 1 water monster with 1500 or less attack in your graveyard, special summon it to the zone this card points to. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn, except water monsters. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 Marine Cess monster. It's not really important, but of course, this is just another little combo piece extender. You could have more of these in the deck. Lots of different water monsters that you could throw in here, and just different extra deck stuff. Of course, you want to go more water because some of the cards lock you into water extra deck monsters only. Or at least I believe for the synchro summons. So there is lots of potential for the deck to grow and to change up. Of course, like I said, I do want to make that penguin deck, penguin ninja deck, ninja penguins, whatever you want to call it, where it's a mix of the both, because they both have similar stories behind them, where they were not archetypes and just, you know, there was a bunch of ninja monsters, there was a bunch of penguin monsters, and then they slowly formed into an actual archetype and got support over the years. So hopefully, you know, with more people maybe playing this deck and more people trying it out, they might add more cards in, you know, the rest of the penguins from the Penguin Brave art. You know, you got this boy back here and presumably this little wizard penguin back here that we're still missing out on. So at some point, maybe we'll get those as support, plus some other cards. I'm not too sure if the OCG has them or not, so let me know in the comments if you know anything, you know, in the future that might be coming out for this deck, or any cool plays that you think I may have missed, or upgrades you think I could do in the future. Of course, make sure to check out my other deck profiles. I do them pretty often. And I also do his other videos as well, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! DIYs, top 10s, stuff like that, all kinds of different Yu-Gi-Oh! Content, so I recommend you check out the channel. Make sure to, you know, like, comment, share, and subscribe if you like the video. And like I said, hit that little hit that little notification bell so you know when future content's coming out. And thanks for watching. Peace.